Hey Ahmad, as an Abdul that you are, to explain a thing to me. I've been thinking about something. You Muslims call Muhammad the best of mankind, right? The perfect example for everyone to follow.
Of course, he's the final prophet, the best role model. No one is compared to my beloved prophet, Muhammad, peace be upon him. But I sense there's a but coming. You are always an unbeliever.
Say whatever you want about me, I don't care. On your supposition, there's a but, alright. I just find it odd that Muhammad, the so-called exemplar, seems to have gotten some privileges that don't apply to regular Muslims like you, Ahmad. You know, like Surah 33:50, where your best of mankind is allowed more wives than anyone else. Isn't that, I don't know, a bit immodest? Maybe even unfair.
Laughs are, John, you always come up with these questions. Why are you so concerned about Muhammad? You are more of an unbeliever than Shaitan himself, also known as Iblis. What's really bugging you?
Well, I just find it hard to swallow that the best of mankind would take privileges for himself that no one else can have. This conflicts with logic and common sense. I mean, how is that fair or modest? Shouldn't the leader practice what he preaches?
Look, man, you have to understand the context. You are an Islamophobe that hates anything Islam and my beloved prophet, peace be upon him. Muhammad's marriages weren't just for personal reasons. They were often about uniting tribes and bringing peace to warring factions. His role as the prophet was different from everyone else's. You can't compare apples to oranges.
Oh, come on, Ahmad. That's the classic scholar defense. This is a mere damage control to lauder his battered image. Context, 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 you say, but where does the Quran say anything about uniting tribes through marriage? The verse, Surah 33:50, literally says it was to prevent Muhammad from being discomforted. Sounds a bit self-serving, don't you think? Smart Muhammad.
John. You are always looking for faults in Muhammad, peace be upon him. You are missing the bigger picture. Yes, he had privileges, but those were specific to his role as the prophet. And let's be honest, you're reading the Quran in English. You can't fully understand the depth unless you know Arabic. The real meaning is in the original language.
Oh, please, Ahmad. Now you're deflecting. Don't give me the "you need to know Arabic" argument. The translation is clear enough. You can't understand Arabic than your scholars that translated the Quran. And even if you argue Muhammad's marriages were to help widows, couldn't he have helped them in other ways? Like, I don't know, providing them with financial support. Why did he need to marry them? He loves honey pot too much.
Fire fall on you from Allah for the insult on my beloved prophet. He married them to provide for them, John. It was a form of protection, moron. Back then, marriage was a way to ensure widows were cared for.
Really? If that's true, why did Muhammad forbid anyone from marrying his widows after he died? Doesn't sound like protection to me. Sounds more like a personal convenience. Face it, Ahmad, the guy got revelations that were, let's say, a little too convenient for him. You guys are just too blind to see it.
Alright, you've made your point, imbecile. I'll have to dig deeper into the verse and get back to you. But don't think you've won this one yet, John.